On today's episode of Bet Bath & Beyond, we talk about the Final Four. The punishment for the B3T sports bracket has changed from taking the SATs, so keep listening to figure out what the new punishment will be. And we talk baseball, a lot of it, more than Andy is comfortable with, because it is opening day. Well, today is. You're listening to this tomorrow. So yesterday was opening day for the Chicago Cubs. So I'm excited about that. And then we wrap up with movie suggestions and NFL trade talk. And Michael Rapaport is a bitch. 3, 2, 1, go. I am Ian Peacock.
And I am Andy Heidemann. And I hate sports betting. No matter what you say, I'm betting 100 on it tonight.
Welcome to Bet Bath & Beyond.
Brought to you by B3T Sports.
.com, baby. Happy opening day, Andrew.
I actually don't think it's opening day.
Today is opening day.
No.
Yep, the Cubs.
It's not.
I live right outside of Wrigleyville. I can actually see the stadium from my apartment.
But do you know what day it is?
Well, don't. I actually had a really good April Fool's joke to throw on you during this episode, but yes.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah, I did. We are recording this on Thursday, on April Fool's Day. However, opening day for the Chicago Cubs, not an April Fool's joke. It is for real.
It might be if they lose.
Hey,
can you imagine they lose and they bring out a big banner like April Fool, season starts tomorrow.
Do you want to know a fun fact? And this is not an April Fool's.
Always.
I would never lie about this. I have been to definitely double-digit Cubs games. I don't know the exact number, but I've definitely been to at least 10 Cubs games in my lifetime. I have never gone to a Cubs game and they have lost. Never. It's never happened.
That sounds like you have to go to more Cubs games.
I swear to God, I have every single game that I've gone to, the Cubs have won because I've sung the winning anthem. Go Cubs, go. Go Cubs, go. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
Wait a second. There are, 400 games in a season.
No.
Which means that you have to go to 200 games because there's 200 home games?
400 games. But, yeah, that's not. I swear to God, I've never seen the Cubs lose in person.
I don't know what you're doing here and not at the game, then, to be completely honest.
Well, I actually tried to get tickets. I did try to get tickets.
Really?
Yeah, and I wasn't able to secure them for opening day. However, I did get them for next week. So
what's the weather like there right now?
It's actually nice. It's sunny. It's cold, though. It's probably in the 50s.
It's brisk as fuck here.
Yeah, it's brisk. It's sunny and brisk. It's probably in the 50s. But I am going to the Cubs game.
50s?
I mean, I think so.
I fucking hate it here.
I mean, it might be 40s. Listen, Andrew.
It's 36 here.
I walked my dog this morning, and it's 32. I was way off. Yeah.
Okay.
It's 32.
I was like, Jesus, it's super nice there. Holy fuck.
No, it's sunny, but it's deceiving. But you're interrupting me, Andrew. I know. I'm going to the Cubs games next week against the Pirates and the Brewers.
Oh.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Pittsburgh Pirates.
The Pittsburgh Pirates.
I know baseball.
You know a little bit of it. You know a little bit.
Are the Brewers the Milwaukee Brewers?
Yes, that's very good.
Let's go. Last season was not wasted on me.
Yeah, so the Cubs play the Pirates in a 3-game series starting today. Then they play the Brewers, and I got tickets for the Brewers. And then they play the Pirates again, and then they play the Brewers again.
Oh, yeah, that's weird, actually. I don't. Does this mean we're going to start talking about baseball? Because I'll leave. I'll be done.
Andrew, I thought you wanted to learn more about baseball. I thought you wanted to
you're right.
learn
No,
more.
That's true. I'm a baseball guy now. You've changed my mind.
Well, you said you were going to watch at least half of all the Cubs games last season.
That did not happen.
Which was only a 60-game season. So
I think I watched 13 games last season.
That's actually more than I thought you did. You actually hit double digits?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, some of them, technically, some of them I would even say, because I didn't technically watch them. Some of them I was at the gym, and I would, like, check my phone. I would check the scores, which is not watching them. But some of them I also would be, like, I'll flip on sports radio and listen for, like, 10 minutes, and then I'll, like, shut her down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you count those, maybe I hit 18, 19. But, I mean, even still, that's not even close to half.
Well, Andrew, I'm giving you a lot of fair warning, a lot of runway. Maybe you come visit me in Chicago and we go to one of these games.
Ooh. There we go. Can we sit behind home plate and eat a hot dog?
No, these are nosebleed seats. But they were cheap, and there's not a bad seat in the house at Wrigley Field.
That's what they say.
No,
Wrigley Field is okay. Wrigley Field is one of the more iconic sports scenes, right? You would say?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the world of baseball. When you think about stadiums, I think of the old Yankee Stadium. So take that off the list now. But I think of Fenway and Wrigley. And Camden Yards. And Camden Yards.
Oh, Camden Yards, yeah. Orioles, right?
Yep.
So, man, look at me go. I'm on fire today. So, my thing is,
on fire for
other sports. I knew the Orioles Stadium. I'm just saying, I know baseball.
Yeah.
What other stadiums and sports do you think are super, super iconic? Like, for me, the 12th man. That's a big deal.
See, here's the thing.
For the Seattle. What's up?
I don't really consider NFL stadiums iconic. I don't know why.
Really?
I really don't. Because, to be honest, and this is the beauty about baseball, because there are some beautiful things.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Is that every stadium is different. Every fence is a different dimension. It's like, obviously you have like the baseball diamond shape for the infield, but the outfield is totally fair game, and it is completely different depending on the stadium. So the game actually changes as you go to each stadium, because it's different dimensions in the outfield. And some stadiums are easier to hit home runs on. Some have, giant walls like Fenway, like the Green Monster. I mean, these stadiums are iconic because they literally change the game of baseball when you go there. For football, obviously, it doesn't matter where you play it. I mean, indoor and outdoor obviously matters. Like Lambeau when it's snowy.
When it's freezing cold,
yeah. So that affects the game. So they're more memorable to remember. It's like, oh, I remember watching that game, and the field was covered in ice and snow, and it was like, I couldn't even see the letters or the numbers on the field. That's when it sticks to you, is when it actually affects the game.
Sure. Remind me after this, because I want to circle back about something you said with baseball. But I do agree with what you're saying. The individuality of baseball stadiums is something that's beautiful. That is not, I don't think, I think it's overlooked sometimes. I'll agree to that. I do think there are places like when you think like Daytona, right? Like that's like something I think people aspire to when they think about racing, or any like big indoor sporting event. You think of Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Madison Square Garden's a big one for basketball.
Let me see.
Michael Jordan loved Madison Square Garden.
He loved the Garden.
But I think Lambeau. I know I already brought it up, but I think Lambeau is for at least the NFL might be the most iconic place.
Yeah. What's another thing? Like, this is maybe not place wise, but the Jumbotron in Dallas. I know that's a huge iconic.
Yep. And exactly, as they start building these billion-dollar stadiums, like the one in Dallas, like the one in Vegas, that's like the black jewel in the desert.
That one's really cool.
That one is really fucking cool. Then you're kind of
I even like the Minnesota one that looks like the ship.
Yes, Minnesota. I've seen that one in person.
That's US Bank Stadium.
That one is fucking cool. It looks like an iceberg, dude. It looks like a fucking giant-ass iceberg. That one's cool. The SoFi Stadium in LA that obviously just got built.
That one's also just cool. But it's new. They're all new.
Yeah. That's why I'm Lambeau. Lambeau is
classic.
Is just classic, dude. I really think that's the most iconic NFL stadium out there.
Okay, but so I want to circle back to something you said with the baseball stadiums. Though you said some of them are like, it's easier to hit home runs.
Right.
Baseball, I feel like, now you can correct me, because I think this is a double-edged sword. It's part of the thing that makes baseball great. It's what makes people love it. Baseball is deeply seated with tradition, right?
Absolutely.
They have a way that they do things. They don't adapt, I don't think, very often. I think that is part of their problem now. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a double-edged sword, exactly what you said. There is a balance to kind of keeping the traditions alive and keeping them sacred, because that in its essence is what baseball is the traditions that have been around since like the 1800s, right? And
Right.
then obviously the world of sports have progressed since the 1800s for more fast action, like fast paced movement of the ball. That's why football obviously is so popular. And hockey and even basketball, the big four, the big four in the United States.
The big four.
Baseball is kind of lagging when it comes to the big four, and a lot of people joke about baseball being boring. And honestly, for me, I love going to baseball games because it is such an easy, relaxing experience. I don't have to worry about going to the bathroom or going to get a beer or going to get snacks. Like, it's kind of just like, yeah, the baseball game's going on, but I don't need to watch it to, see what happens. Because when I'm at a football game, I need to wait until halftime. Or when a quarter ends.
You don't want to miss a play because it's so exciting.
Exactly. And it does suck. I have been at a baseball game where you're in the bathroom and you just hear the crack. You just hear the crowd go crazy and you're like, fuck, I just missed a home run. And so that does suck. But in general, it's such a slow paced sport that you can kind of relax and enjoy yourself. It's very casual. It's a very casual watching experience.
If you told me today that on the podcast we'd be talking about baseball like this, I never would have believed it.
It's opening day, baby. It's opening day. It only comes around once a year.
Oh, man.
And
That's true. It does only come around once a year.
I don't know if you can hear this, but there's a helicopter circling around my neighborhood, probably getting all the aerial views of the stadium.
So are they starting on time? Like, is this when it normally starts?
Yeah. Or
did COVID? Okay.
No, it usually starts in April.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know anything about when the baseball season starts. When does the baseball season end? Is it June? 4 months?
No, like you said, there's 400 games, so it goes into the fall. So Mr. October, maybe you've heard the phrase Mr. October.
No.
Well, okay. Well, postseason.
I've heard Mrs. October.
Postseason is October, November. World Series usually wraps up, I believe, end of October, early November.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I'll be on the lookout for then.
Yeah. So baseball's back. We'll be talking a lot about the Cubs. I'm excited to. I got a Baez jersey for my birthday last year, and since the Cubs didn't have a season in person last year that I could actually go visit, I'm excited to rock my Javi Baez jersey to Cubs games this year.
I don't own a baseball jersey.
Well, we'll get you.
I don't know if I can come visit.
Andrew, come visit me. I have an extra one, actually. I actually have an extra Cubs jersey.
There's no way that fits me.
It actually might because it's a large and it's super big on me.
Oh, really?
But I got it.
Well, you know what?
I'll give
it a shot.
I got the jerszy specifically big so I can put it over like a jacket or a hoodie and stuff because it gets pretty cold. Like I said, in October and November.
October. All right. Do you want to move on from baseball?
Yes. Mr. October. Mr. September is also another one. Mr. September. But
Michigan fucked me. Michigan is the worst school. They're not a sports school anymore. I'm done with it. I am done pretending.
Okay.
They're bad at football. They can't make the Final Four.
Right.
Come on.
So let me put on this is actually really hard for me because I'm actually kind of looking at baseball stats right now. So I'm going to have to put on my basketball hat, my NCAA basketball men's March Madness hat, which has the South Carolina Gamecocks on it because they went to the Final Four back in 2017, and it was a beautiful moment in my history of life. So I'm gonna put that on because we have our Final Four teams.
Sure.
Michigan's not one of them. Which means you are in dire straits to taking the SATs, which is no longer a thing anymore.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
Yeah, so if you guys have been listening to the past few episodes here at B3T Sports, which is our sports blog site, which hosts the podcast, we also do a lot of other blogs, and we have a bunch of writers that work for us for free. We all did a March Madness bracket, okay? And we wanted there to be a last place punishment for content because we're all about content, baby. Content is king. So we decided as a group in our Slack channel that the loser of the brackets, whoever came in very last place, would have to take the SATs.
Correct.
And keep in mind, we're all in our mid to late 20s, except for Johnny Walks, who is a teenager. And I don't feel comfortable with him working for us sometimes because I don't know how old he is for real, but that's okay. So he would have had to take the SATs regardless. So actually it would have been 2 birds, 1 stone.
Benefit for him.
Yeah, it would have been 2 birds.
He'd have been like, I was doing this anyway, and everyone's paying for it? Fuck yeah.
Exactly. Oh, man. So we had some people with some paper hands. We had some people to quote unquote bitch out at the last minute when things were getting tough, when things were coming down to the wire and people were starting to see who was actually going to get in last place, what the possibilities were. People started to bitch out. Cold feet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name names.
Why would you? There's no need. They know.
You know who you are in the B3T Sports writers world. You know.
So we decided that you're gonna have to drink a 40 and run a 40, unless you're Johnny Walks. So you're gonna have to drink 40 ounces of milk. I think you die if you do that.
That's disgusting, by the way. So yeah, Johnny is not 21, so of course he cannot drink a 40. However, 40 ounces of milk is no joke. That's honestly disgusting.
No, you're gonna die. You might die.
That's disgusting. He'll definitely puke. But the loser has to drink a 40 or 40 ounces of milk and then run a 40-yard dash immediately after chugging the 40. They're going to puke. Whoever does this, they're going to puke. We're going to film it. The loser also has to write, a little blog about it, write about their experience, and we'll put it on the B3T Sports site.
Right. I do have to say, though, I am not in 7th place, even though Michigan lost. I'm not in 7th place. I'm in 6th place.
Right.
If
so
Baylor loses...
You're talking about 7th is last, right?
7th is last.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page.
If Baylor loses, I will not lose.
Yeah, Matt Lack, our trusted B3T sports writer, Matt Lack, who's been on the podcast, he's in last place, but he has Baylor winning the whole tournament. So he can easily get out of his situation if Baylor just wins in the final. They don't even have to win the whole tournament. They just have to win.
They just have to win Final Four.
Yes.
Beat their... Now, I have never been a bigger fan of Houston than I am right now. I will cheer for Houston until I die. I might drop $300 on Houston.
Phi Slamma Jamma?
What's that?
Phi Slamma Jamma?
Sure.
You don't know what that is. That's a 30 for 30.
I don't.
That's an ESPN 30 for 30 called Phi Slamma Jamma. And it's about Houston in the 80s during the March Madness tournament. I recommend it.
Oh, I'm assuming they were good.
They were good. Yes, they were. So Houston.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Oh, no, go for it.
Well, I was just going to read the matchup. So obviously we have Houston versus Baylor, like you just said. And then we have UCLA, the big upset story, over Michigan, playing Gonzaga. Both those games Saturday.
There's no way that UCLA beats Gonzaga. Gonzaga wins by 13.
I really hope so because I have Gonzaga winning the whole thing. I think it's technically impossible for me to come in last place because I'm like in the middle of the pack and I know the person below me, who's Casey, he has Gonzaga winning too. So I think that either the three of you guys who are below me, whether it's Casey, whether it's you, or whether it's Drew, I think there isn't a possibility where I come in last place.
Right.
Which is good.
While we're talking about March Madness, did you see the controversy between the women's Baylor and Yukon match?
As someone who frequently watches women's basketball, I did, but I want you to explain it for anyone who doesn't watch women's basketball.
So Yukon was in the lead. There was like 2 seconds left, and Baylor went up for a shot, and the Baylor girl got fouled. She definitely got fouled by some Yukon players. There was a no call. Game was over, right? And people were bitching about it. And LeBron tweeted, and he's like, "Oh man, that's definitely a foul." And then the Yukon coach got up and he did like his presser, and he's like, "Yeah, that's probably the first time, and there's probably never been a time where LeBron's ever won a game on a bad call." I'm sure he complained to the refs specifically about it. Which, granted, I think that's funny because obviously nobody's gonna say anything like that. Should it have been called? Yeah, it makes sports better when the blatant fouls are called, but that's sports. It happens all the time. Look at the Saints the couple years ago or whatever, when they got fucked. I don't know.
It's immediately what I think of when I think of blatant calls that were missed that could have decided the outcome of a game. I think of the Saints and the Rams.
Yeah,
that was insane.
But I don't know. It sucks, especially because it's Yukon, right? And if Baylor would have won all that, everyone would have been like, Yukon's still the champs. I mean, it would have been the exact opposite. So I don't want to hear it really from Baylor. And that's, it's weird because, because they're Yukon. Everyone says, oh, they're Yukon. They were just, it was rigged for them to win.
Well, also, as the Yukon coach, who made the comment and stuff, what's he supposed to do? Like what? Yeah, like no. He's just. I mean, he's not coaching. I mean, yes, he's coaching the game. He's not refereeing the game. He doesn't have a decision. Like whether it's bad calls, those are outside of his control. He just has to show. He has to do his job, and he has to trust that the referees do their job correctly.
Right.
But when they don't, that's not on him. Right. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I love LeBron dig. I love the LeBron.
You said, I'm also a firm believer in the idea that if a single play in the final seconds of a game are what's deciding the fate of the game, it doesn't mean it's not exciting. It doesn't mean you didn't play a good game, but you weren't leaving no doubt. I mean, it wasn't like you were supposed to win that game. And
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so weird it's so weird in the world of sports that we, as a fan base, as a society, we focus on one play. Usually on like big games, like the Saints no call, like I'm trying to think. Bill Buckner. Do you know who Bill Buckner is?
Heard of him.
Yeah, you've heard of him, and you're not even a baseball guy. So Bill Buckner was this player back in the 1980s in the World Series. Okay. He let a ball, he played first base. He let a ball go between his legs. It was a routine ground ball, okay? And it just went between his legs, and the game could have been over, but since he blundered it and it went through his legs, the other team scored, and they actually ended up winning the World Series. And it wasn't even like, that was like game 6 of the World Series, and I believe there was a game 7 too. But everyone's like Bill Buckner, and the dude got so much hate, dude.
Oh yeah,
like just because of that one play. And obviously he played for the Red Sox, and Boston as a sports city is not a forgiving it is not a forgiving sports city. So he got fucking grilled for the rest of his life. And I think they did eventually invite him back to Fenway, and they eventually they say quote unquote forgave him, but really he should have forgave them for just absolutely destroying his life.
You ruined my life.
Right. And honestly, he died. So he died.
Honestly, he died.
Honestly, he died. But really what I'm trying to say is I believe that loss put so much stress on his life that he
I
died
know, yeah.
he died prematurely. Let's see, how old was he? He was only 69. I'm not going to make a joke.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. He was only 69 years old when he died. He died of dementia, which
That sucks.
yeah. So look, I'm not
not
saying I'm speculating here.
So you're telling me I can blame baseball for his death?
I'm speculating here, but he probably died from a lot of the stress. I mean, I'm sure it took its mental toll on him.
Yeah, absolutely, it did.
There's another guy. There's also another guy, fucking Steve Bartman.
Was the guy who caught
Bartman.
guy who caught that ball or whatever?
The foul ball.
Yeah.
Yep, another one. Another moment in sports history, and these two are baseball related, but you can really apply it to any sport where it's totally unfair that a scapegoat is made because of one stupid play. And this guy, Steve Bartman, there's actually a really good 30 for 30 on him called Catching Hell. Okay, so
I think I've seen that one.
you should have if you haven't. But Phi Slamma Jamma, Catching Hell. Those are my two 30 for 30 suggestions.
You're gonna recommend me something when I know you haven't watched Ad Astra. I know for a fact.
You're right, I haven't. And we'll get into this later in the podcast. I watched a great movie last night, and we'll get into it.
All right.
But real quick, Steve Bartman, man who caught the foul ball, and the Cubs were, both of these teams, the Red Sox with Bill Buckner, and the Cubs with Bartman, they're both cursed teams, right? They both have these curses around them before they actually went on to win the World Series later in their careers or in the franchise history. But these guys were known as being part of the curse. So Steve Bartman catches a foul ball during the pennant series, and they lost. The Cubs lost that game, and it had nothing to do with Bartman. It was just a simple out that wouldn't even have really determined the whole game. And it wasn't even the final game in the series. And it's that kind of stuff. It's that kind of stuff. It's like, why as a city, as a fan base, did we focus so hard on these two plays when really you can look at 100 other plays during the series that matter even more?
People just need something to distract them from the fact that they're losers.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And I love the city.
You know what I mean?
I love the city of Chicago, and I love the Cubs fan base, and I'm a Cubs fan. But that was a dark time. A stain. It was a stain.
You want to play our favorite game?
Yes. Okay, so we check baseball. Covered baseball. More baseball than I thought we would ever talk about on this podcast.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
We've covered the Final Four. Well, let's make our picks real quick. So you have Baylor over Houston in the Final Four. Am I correct?
I do.
And then this one's an easy one. Gonzaga over UCLA.
100%.
So we're looking at a Baylor versus Gonzaga final, which would actually be a really good final.
Hopefully. I think Gonzaga still wins. I mean, did you know Gonzaga has won 30 straight, and 29 of the 30 have been by double digits?
Yeah, they're insane. They're a very good team.
It's just...
That's why I picked them. That's why I picked them to win. Okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair... fuck it, we're done.
No, go ahead. It's not.
I was going to say Michigan...
This is our podcast. We can say whatever the fuck we want for as long as we want.
I really liked Michigan, and even though they lost in that game, there were a couple plays at the end where I thought there was just desperation shooting. I mean, I also have to forget, there are bigs. People love college football. People love the NFL, all that sort of stuff. The NBA, college basketball to me, I think is very different because in college football, these kids are a little bit older. They're still kids, but they're a little bit older because that's just to play varsity college football, you need size, and you usually don't get that until you're working out with their program for a couple of years. Very rarely do you get true freshmen who aren't quarterbacks, right?
Right.
In the NCAA, it's a lot of these guys are one and done. They come in for a year, they play in the NCAA tournament, and then they go to the NBA. If they're really, really good. It's maybe 2 years for some of them. They're not in there for a long time. These guys are kids, 18 and 19 years old. I forget that sometimes. And sometimes I'm like,
they're just kids.
No, seriously. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, you dumb motherfucker, make that 3-point shot. But then I realized,
Wagner,
wait a second.
Wagner with his air ball.
Just any of them. Really, but yeah, there were a couple shots I thought were forced at the end. I'm like, you have time, slow down. Like you went for 2 3-point plays for the win. A layup would you have the size on them. A layup gets you a tie game. You get to play for overtime.
Yeah, UCLA.
But anyway,
UCLA 14.5 underdog for the spread.
Yeah. Yep.
Houston +5 against Baylor. I'm taking Baylor.
I'm taking Houston. I'm taking Houston to cover.
Houston to cover by 5?
Houston is better than everyone's been giving them credit for the entire tournament, and I'm done doing that. I think Baylor will win, but I will take Houston at +5.
What about UCLA and Gonzaga 14.5?
No, give me Gonzaga.
Yeah, give me Gonzaga. I'm going to say Baylor too. I think Baylor covers.
Okay. Anyway, you start or am I?
You start because you didn't even have one for me last episode.
Okay. This player.
Wait, this game, by the way, just in case. Look, I got to preface this. This game that we play every episode is called If You Don't Get This Player, You Have to Go Fuck Yourself. By listening, this is a contractual agreement where if you continue listening and play the game, if you don't get this player, by the time one of us does, you have to go fuck yourself. And if I don't get it, I have to go fuck myself. And if Andy doesn't get it, he has to go fuck himself. Contractual agreements.
Those are the rules. We don't make them. Well, we do make them, but
now that we made them, we have to enforce them.
All right. This player was drafted in 2017, and they were a first-round pick.
This is NFL, correct?
This is NFL. Yes,
right.
Correct. This player has thrown over 10,000 yards. He has 1 Pro Bowl and 2 playoff appearances.
Josh Allen.
No.
All right. Just because I guess and I get it wrong.
Yep. No. I'll keep giving you some hints.
Okay. Wait. Just let me digest this a little bit.
Sure. You want me to go over them again?
Yeah. Real quick.
He was a first-round pick in 2017.
Do I get to know where? Like what round? I mean,
that'll be the final hint if you need.
Okay.
He has 10,000 passing yards. I can give you his. He is a QB. His total record is 29 wins, 21 losses.
29 wins, 21 losses?
He has 1 Pro Bowl and 2 playoff appearances. This is a good one.
Is it Trubisky, dude?
It is Mitchell Trubisky. He is the 2nd overall pick in 2017.
They traded up. to get him.
If I would have said, though, right away that he was the number 2 pick in 2017, you would have got it, right?
Yeah, I would have gotten that easily. When was Josh Allen? Was Josh Allen 2018? I guess so. Or maybe 2016.
Let me see.
2016? Because they're not in the same draft class.
28. No, they're 2018. He was
2018. Okay, 2018.
I mean, what really gets people on this one is he has a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I should have known this. I should have just guessed this from the get-go, but I'm from, I live in Chicago and I have Chicago friends. That I've definitely heard Trubisky is a Pro Bowl, right? Oh man. And the 2 playoff performances, obviously they just went to the playoffs this year, but honestly, I totally forgot there was a second time.
Well, in honestly, so that was his Pro Bowl season actually in 2018 because they were 11-3 in his start.
Damn, dude, damn.
I know, and he had a 66% completion rating. He only threw for 3,000 yards and 24 touchdowns. He also had 12 interceptions. But I think, let me see here. He rushed, I think, for a decent amount in 2018, 420 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, so he had about 3,700 total yards and 27 total touchdowns. That's not bad.
Not bad at all. Okay.
There you go. You survive.
Thank God. Okay. My turn. NFL.
Yes.
This is an NFL player.
Good.
This player was drafted 10 years before Mitch Trubisky, so 2007. Okay. First round pick. Okay. Pretty early on, pick 7. Okay, so top 10.
Okay, 2007, pick 7. Okay.
He has played for 5 teams in his career.
Okay.
He has 7 Pro Bowls. Gone to 7 Pro Bowls. He is the 3-time NFL rushing leader in yards for a season, and twice has led the NFL in rushing touchdowns in a season. Okay, so 3 times he's led the season in yards. 2 times he's led the season in rushing touchdowns.
Is it AP?
It is AP. Damn.
Okay. No, I had a moment where I was like, is it Frank Gore? And then I was like, no, he's never led the league in yards. Like, never. He's always up there, but... Yeah,
I had 2 more. He has the NFL record for rushing yards for a single game. That's at 296.
That's so dumb. Who's second? Do you know who's second on that list?
I actually do. It's Jamal Lewis.
Okay.
Go Ravens, baby. And he has 295. So AP literally has this record by 1 yard. That's
one of those records that, like, I could see Derrick Henry breaking that record.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, I could see Saquon breaking it as well. If Saquon has a really, really good game, I think Saquon could do it.
I think either of those 2 running backs have the capability to do that. I could see Derrick Henry getting 300 yards. Easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If they play through him, that dude is a beast.
And then my very last one, which would have, I'm sure, given it away, is that he has won MVP. Because he might be the last running back to ever win MVP.
Oh, I think so. I mean, like, if you're not going to give Chris McCaffrey a single vote like in that season he had, I don't think a running back is going to.
Maybe Derrick Henry, but the thing is, quarterbacks will always be number 1. So unless every single
especially
quarterback,
in this passing NFL,
if every single quarterback sucks ass for an entire season, and then Derrick Henry has another season like he just did, which was phenomenal, then maybe. But again, it's probably never going to happen.
Man. All right, so that was Go Fuck Yourself.
Go fuck yourself for short. Okay. Well,
did you have what else did you want to talk? Because I have a topic.
You do have a topic. I have a topic as well. It's a movie. It's a movie I watched last night that I wanted to recommend.
Let's wrap the sports talk then, because we're going to talk some NFL free agency.
Okay. Are you talking about AB?
No, wait. What happened with AB?
So every once in a while, even though I've already adjusted my Twitter notifications in my settings, I will continue to get notifications from Twitter from random ass people when they get popular, when their tweets go like viral.
Okay.
I've gotten 2 so far. One about Deshaun Watson being traded. I didn't even open that. I got one this morning that baited me, and I didn't even look at who tweeted it. It was
a super weed hater?
No, it wasn't super weed hater.
Damn.
It was Blitzberg. It was a Twitter profile named Blitzberg. But I saw the tweet and I immediately opened it without seeing who even tweeted it, and they got me. It was AB returns to the Steelers with a 1-year deal.
That would be insanity. I think that would be crazy.
That would be insane. And I was like, God damn it, Blitzberg. Fuck.
This just in, Juju retires.
And it's the thing what gets me is that Twitter is just sending me this stuff unsolicited.
I know.
Unsolicited. I'm not asking for it.
Okay. No, I didn't see that, but that's funny. So some free agency news. Steelers sign running back Kalen Ballage. They signed him to a 1-year deal. So I also think this line is funny. This line reads, veteran NFL quarterback Colt McCoy
oh man,
is signing a 1-year deal with the Cardinals. Seahawks actually locked up, no pun intended, Tyler Lockett, 4-year deal extension worth $69 million.
Wait, who did?
Tyler Lockett.
No, what team?
The Seahawks.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Just making sure.
Jamar Chase, the leading wide receiver prospect in the draft, he ran a 4.38 40.
I saw that.
That's fucking fast. Also, fucking Kyle Pitts 40-yard dash, apparently 4.44. That's faster than Waller, Darren Cook, Noah Fant, OJ Howard, George Kittle, Mike Gesicki. This dude is fucking fast. Kyle Pitts is going to be a monster tight end if he pans out.
This is the tight end that might ruin your friendship with.
Yeah, exactly.
With Trevor. And I'm saying his name, and I'm not bleeping it out.
And the final bit of news here, well, the second to final piece of news here is Ron Rivera came out and said that Ryan Fitzpatrick is the QB1, but there will be a QB competition.
Sorry, Heineke. By the way, I saw that coming a mile away.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Fitz is a good quarterback.
Yeah, no, I think so.
And he went to Harvard.
Was smart. He's smart.
Smart. The final bit of news for this, though, is there's an article that came out talking some more facts about the Deshaun Watson news. And apparently there were 18 masseuses who came out and said, hey, like they came out in his defense, which, I mean, doesn't necessarily say a whole lot. I mean, they came out and they said that he would never do this, blah, blah, blah. But the most interesting part of this that I did not realize until now is these 18 masseuses, they assigned their names to this claim of defense. And the 20 that have filed suits against Deshaun, none of them have assigned their name to the suits.
Meaning they're staying anonymous, correct?
Right, they're staying anonymous. And that's, to me, that's always something that's interesting. I feel people should have the right to face their accuser. Because, like, people could say anything about you if no one's going to come forward and say, I know you're building a case. I understand that that's like part of the legal system, but
it's definitely a slippery slope. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. It's a slippery slope when you can just say whatever you want about someone who has a lot of money and then obviously, just remain anonymous and have your lawyer do all the dirty work to try to extract money from said person who you're accusing. Now, I don't want to belittle any sides of this.
Right, yeah. This is not about...
I'm not belittling Deshaun Watson, and I don't want to belittle the people who are accusing him of what he's doing. We do have a very good justice system in our country, which is also innocent until proven guilty. So, I mean, I guess we'll just see what happens. All of these charges are civil, correct? He's not facing any criminal.
No criminal charges. Now, the minute something criminal comes up, I think that will put him in hot water.
Criminal means there's sufficient evidence,
right,
to actually charge.
But that's the last piece of like free agency stuff that I have to talk about.
AB to the Ravens. AB to the Ravens, please.
Yeah, they haven't signed him yet. They haven't extended him.
I like Sammy. Don't get me wrong, but I want to get greedy. I want more.
I want to get greedy. So I wrote an article the other day on b3tsports.com. It's
first one in a while.
First one in a while.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I deserve it. It's a piece we talked about in the last episode about a possible trade for Cam to the Niners for Jimmy G, and I brought it up, and you said I was dumb. But after we talked about it,
you are dumb.
On First Take, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman were talking about the exact same thing. You heard it here first, there second, and then I posted an article third. It's linked in the fucking article. Go check it out. Fuck you. So let's talk about movies.
Okay, well, actually, real quick, because you just kind of reminded me, how funny was it? Because I saw this on Twitter. How funny were those KD direct messages to Michael Rapaport?
Okay, we talked about this in the chat a little bit. For those of you who don't know, I think Michael Rapaport messaged KD and was like kind of going at him, and then KD responded, and Michael Rapaport deleted some of his messages, right?
100%. He deleted his messages and then screenshotted them to make it look like KD was just blowing up his phone.
Unhinged.
Yeah, unhinged, completely unsolicited, just back to back messages. When Michael Rapaport, who, if you don't know who he is, he's a washed up fucking comedian, and he's been on shows like Friends and some other fucking, I love Friends, don't get me wrong, but he was just like a cameo. And some other just one-off shows. But he actually used to work for Barstool. And so he kind of got this reputation of being a rat and being a fucking unhinged. Like, he's the one unhinged because
edgy.
He's super edgy, and he's also insecure. So KD is insecure. You have two giant mental midgets, okay, that are basically fighting each other online. And Rapaport is the bigger mental midget because he's deleting his stuff and then trying to play the victim.
Well, so I will say that Rapaport is a fucking idiot, and I don't like him, obviously, but I'm not a big KD fan either.
I hate both of them. I hate absolutely both of them.
Absolutely. My thing is, specifically here, is we know what Michael Rapaport is, and we know what he is in the sense of media and social media. That's his job. His job is to be edgy on social. His job is to be... KD's job is to play basketball. So... This is not the first time that KD has had a short fuse with people in the media. KD should know in his head that what Michael Rapaport is doing is trying to goat him into something like this. KD has to be smarter than this. I get it. I understand that you're not liking what he's saying, but you have bigger things to do than fucking DM this dude, right? Because he's an idiot. Why give him the time? And if this was the first time with KD that this has ever happened, I would feel bad for him. This is like the 9th time. He had a burner, for God's sake. Why do you care so much?
No, you're absolutely right that KD has done this before. And like I said, these people are both extremely insecure.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Okay? And so they both kind of lash out when this kind of stuff happens. However, I will say that they actually used to be friends. Like, there's a lot of videos of them like hanging out, and apparently... I don't know if this is fact, but apparently this is how they communicated on a regular basis, right? So, they'd all, you kind of have, a buddy or something that you're just going to fucking, just absolutely destroy, you kind of have this repertoire back and forth of just fuck you, no, fuck you, I'll fuck you up, I'll fuck you up. But it's kind of in playful jest, it's not actually meaningful.
Sure.
I get the feeling that that's how they communicated a lot. There are videos out there, because Rapaport posted one, of both of them hanging out. It was several settings and occasions in person. And KD even said, okay, maybe I went a little too far, because he brought up Portnoy. With Barstool, and that's a whole other story between Rapaport suing Barstool.
Those videos of Portnoy's talking with the lawyer actually just came public a couple days ago.
I watched it. It's hilarious.
Portnoy, that went well.
Yeah, so apparently Rapaport, who used to work for Barstool, then got fired by Portnoy, and then went on a tyrant of photoshopping stuff and everything like that. Then Portnoy and Barstool made a t-shirt, a clown shirt with Rapaport and everything.
Which I love that shirt.
Yeah, which is hilarious. And then Rapaport, who can't take a joke, even though he starts them, he sues Barstool for defamation of character and stuff. And so Portnoy, basically, there's a video that he pinned to his Twitter, which was him meeting with Rapaport's lawyer, and he basically just owns the lawyer, because the lawyer is, this lawyer is terrible. I would, this is a terrible lawyer. Rapaport should get his money back, but
Barstool should come out with a lawyer shirt, and he should be a clown.
That would be hilarious. That would be
hilarious.
So Portnoy
put me in charge.
Posted this video because a judge threw out the case that Rapaport filed against Barstool. So that's kind of what triggered him to release the video. And then KD mentions this in his messages with Rapaport, which I guess struck the nerve. Maybe that was him going too far. But KD even says, this is how we communicated. I guess I went a little too far with Portnoy. But to me, what it sounded like is they went back and forth a lot throughout the years, or however long they knew each other. And they would insult each other and stuff like that. That was maybe how they communicated. I could see Rapaport being that kind of guy that's how you communicate with him, especially being a comedian and he's a wise ass, and then he deleted all his messages and then just posted the ones KD did. That's a fucking snake move, dude. And I hate both these guys. I hate both of them.
Yeah.
And I'm siding with KD.
My favorite thing about this whole thing, because this is what gets me more upset. I'm going to forget Michael Rapaport exists until the next dumb thing he does. Every time that I see an NBA thing, it's somebody signed with the Nets, somebody signed with the Nets. I'm going to watch the Nets make the playoffs without KD, without him, because he's fucking not on the court because he's hurt. And then they're going to win a ring, and he's going to be like, it's me, baby. It's all me. I'm the greatest who's ever done it. And it's just
He did, though. He did win Series MVP with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, no, he did. And he's a baller. I don't want to take that from him. He is a baller. And to say what people sometimes say about LeBron when they say, LeBron did it with nothing. Yeah, well, I have seen LeBron do it with basically nothing. And that adds to his legacy.
Did he do it with nothing?
That first year that he took the Cavs.
Yeah, but he didn't do it. He almost did
No,
it.
he didn't. He almost did it. But I mean, like what I'm saying is that shouldn't define who you are as a player, because you take that away from LeBron and he is still, you know what I mean? He still has a ton of rings. He's still he's like number 5 or whatever, number 4 on the all-time scoring list. I don't remember.
I have a hot take.
What is it?
I think what Kawhi did with the Raptors is more impressive than what LeBron did with any of his teams. Maybe, but the first Cavs, I will say, probably is more impressive, but they didn't win a ring.
He didn't win it.
So
then you also have to say that them losing the way they did last year is way more embarrassing than any loss LeBron has had. LeBron is way more consistent. He had fucking a team around him last year and they couldn't win it.
Yeah, but the Lakers didn't even make the playoffs. When
LeBron was injured, yeah. LeBron wasn't playing. That's not fair.
Okay.
You're talking about
the Clip. Are you talking about the Clippers losing last year?
Well, the Clippers. That team was supposed to be the challenger to the Lakers, remember? And they didn't even make it out of the second round. Playoff P. So a single player shouldn't have to carry a team, and I get that. You need people around you, but every single year, right now, with LeBron out, the Lakers are in trouble. AD was out. That sucks. LeBron's out. They're in trouble. So I don't want this to be a thing about LeBron. I know that KD's a bitch, and they're going to make the playoffs without him, and then he's going to come in and be like, I'm fucking great.
Yeah. No, agreed. And kind of to wrap a bow around this whole thing, I do get your point where you're like, you're KD, you're a multi-million-dollar athlete. You probably will go down as one of the greatest players of all time, right?
Yeah,
like you
definitely.
You don't need to be squaring off, not just against Rapaport, but anyone on Twitter, right? There's a phrase that I believe very much so. It's a lion doesn't care about the opinions of sheep, right? And KD, take his mental game out of it, he's a lion when it comes to the world of sports, right?
Yeah.
Basketball. So why are you worried about, and I'm not just talking about Rapaport, but I'm talking about what anyone says. Why do you have burners on Twitter to just, chirp at anyone who says a bad thing about you? Just don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. But
anyway, you want to talk about movies?
Yeah, so we'll wrap up the episode with my movie suggestion, which I watched last night. First night, it's available on HBO Max. Godzilla versus Kong, baby.
You'll be the second review I've heard of this, so I'm curious what you have to say.
Okay. Plot, terrible. Which is to be expected.
Heard that as well.
Plot, it was terrible. And the way that they kind of... I'm not going to do any spoilers. No spoilers, don't worry. But the way that they resolve some of the issues in the movie to fix the plot towards the end is absolutely stupid, is absolutely dumb. And while I watched it with a bunch of buddies here in Chicago, when it happened, you just laugh because you're like, this is hilarious. Like, that's hilarious. However, the fight scenes, and there are a lot of fight scenes, are fucking dope. They are so fucking tight, dude. And there's a lot of them. So there's 4 major fights. Okay, I won't say with who. I won't say anything like that. But there are 4 major fights, and they are worth it, dude. It was super entertaining just on the fight scenes alone, and the CGI, the animation, the computer graphics that they need to pull this off was truly amazing. I'm sure it was a fuck ton of money to make, but it was worth it because it looked great, and we watched it in 4K.
Oh shit! Really? Okay. The review that you're giving lines up 100% with the review I was already given, so I'll probably watch it. It's basically what I expected.
It's like get a little drunk, get a little high if it's legal in your state, and just relax and enjoy.
Smoke a little bit of that jazz cabbage.
just enjoy a masterpiece of CGI fighting.
Okay, so obviously, I recommended Ad Astra, and you're recommending Godzilla vs. Kong. I'll probably watch Godzilla vs. Kong maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Another movie on my radar that I want to watch. Do you like Mads Mikkelsen?
I have no idea who or what that is.
As an actor. Let me
just tell me what's he from.
He's in a James Bond movie. He's a villain in a James Bond movie. He is in
Mads.
He plays Hannibal in that TV show on Netflix called Hannibal.
Yeah, I looked him up. He's I recognize his face.
I like him a lot, and there's a movie called Another Round that came out in 2020, and the premise is, I'll just read it really quick, it's like a sentence. 4 friends, all high school teachers, test a theory that their lives will improve if they have a certain level of alcohol in their system at all times. And I kind of want to watch that.
And it's actually, like, this isn't like a shit movie, this is actually good.
I've heard it's good. I've heard people, like, let me see. It got a 7.8, it looks like, on IMDb, which is not great, but not bad. And especially for the premise. It's a comedy, drama. So, like, those are very, very hard to balance a lot of the time. Okay. So I'm curious.
This is what's selling me right now. 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
There you go.
I'm a big Rotten Tomatoes guy. I usually agree with their ratings. And let me see what Godzilla... I'm sure Godzilla vs. Kong got terrible reviews because 80%.
Rotten Tomatoes has the nice ability to go, this is what critics gave it, this is what the audience gave it, which is very helpful when trying to decide like what we should watch as a group or something like that. I like IMDb because I think IMDb does a really good job of like, this is what the film itself scored, and I feel like they do like, here's the cinematography, the music, the whatever. I feel like it's more snobby. I don't know. I like IMDb.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got. Watch Ad Astra.
Ad Astra, Godzilla vs. Kong, and Another Round.
Grapefruit.
Normally you can only get this technique in one of my classes, but I wanted to share this with you because I believe every man should get grapefruited. When you grapefruit your man, it's going to feel as if you are giving him head and fucking him at the same time.
Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling.
Valentino Summers and Wave Runners. Chains on my niggas like slave runners. Drug dealers anonymous. Valentino Summers and Wave Runners. Chains on my niggas like slave runners. Drug dealers anonymous. How many Madonnas can that Mazda fit? My brick talk is more than obvious. It's ominous. Garage is the phantom. Ghouls, ghosts, and goblins. Blonde mohawk the collection. I'm Dennis Rodman.
No better feeling would he ever get than being grapefruited. No better feeling would he ever get than...
Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling.
Time to hit the showers because baths are for babies.